Look, I'll be honest with you. People like you, you're just not leadership material.
I have the highest sales numbers on the team.
Huh, okay, sure. Numbers aren't everything.
Then what else do I need?
You need to know your place. Some people are meant to lead, some aren't. Except
Manager David Brooks had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 72 hours, he would lose his 15-year career. He would face a $5.3 million lawsuit. He would watch his name get destroyed in court. The quiet employee he had dismissed for 3 years was actually the CEO's daughter. She was planted undercover to find discrimination at his branch. Lisa Johnson graduated top of her class from Harvard Business School. She turned down a VP job at a big company just for this assignment. Every racist comment David made, she wrote it down. Every denied promotion, she documented it. Every bad meeting, she recorded it. All of it sat in a 200-page report on her father's desk. In the conference room, cameras caught everything, including what David was about to say next. Before I continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever been passed over for someone less qualified? Drop your answer in the comments below. But David Brooks had no idea who he was dismissing so easily. Lisa Johnson was not just another worker. She had a Harvard MBA. She finished in the top 5% of her class. Before this job, she worked in corporate strategy for 4 years. A Fortune 500 company offered her a VP position. She said no. She chose this assignment instead. Her father was Marcus Johnson. He started Johnson & Associates Consulting. The company was worth $200 million. When complaints came in about the Chicago branch, Lisa volunteered to investigate. She did not want to just read reports. She wanted to live it. She wanted to feel what employees faced every day. Only 3 people in the whole company knew who she really was. Her father told her she could quit anytime. She refused. For 3 years, she stayed. For 3 years, she documented everything. Now here is what made her special. She was trained in how to document workplace problems. She knew exactly what proof she needed. She had done 2 undercover jobs at other branches before. On this Tuesday morning, Lisa was just trying to do her job. The same job she did well for 3 years. The same job where they kept telling her she was not good enough. David Brooks built his whole career on one skill. He took credit for wins. He blamed others for losses. David was 47 years old. He managed the Chicago branch for 15 years. Everyone called him results-driven, but those results came with a dark pattern. Here is what the records showed. 17 complaints in 8 years. Every single one came from employees of color. Every single one was buried. HR called them misunderstandings or said the worker was too sensitive. In 2019, David passed over a qualified black worker for a promotion. He said the man was not a culture fit. That worker quit. In 2021, David told a Hispanic worker her accent hurt client perception. HR gave him a verbal warning. Nothing else happened. In 2022, David denied training to an Asian American worker. He blamed budget problems. But that same week, he approved the exact same training for a white worker. The staff knew what David was. They had a secret group chat called Brooks Watch. New workers of color got warned on their first day, keep your head down around David. 3 talented people left because of him. Their exit interviews got buried. Let me know in the comments, have you ever worked for someone like David? Type yes if you have. But this time would be different. This time, David picked the wrong target. It was Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. The time was 9:47 in the morning. The Chicago branch sat on the 14th floor of a downtown building. It had an open office with glass meeting rooms. 47 people worked there. This was a normal Tuesday. Coffee was brewing, keyboards were clicking. The monthly team meeting was set for 10 a.m. This meeting was when David announced promotions. Lisa had applied for team lead. It was her 3rd time trying in 18 months. At 10:02 a.m., David walked in with his coffee. He looked relaxed. He smiled at the room. "Great quarter, team," he said. Then he moved to promotions. He named 2 people. Neither was Lisa. Both were white men. Both had less experience than Lisa. Both had lower numbers than Lisa. But here is what David did not know. At 9:30 a.m., CEO Marcus Johnson arrived at the building lobby. He was reading Lisa's 200-page report in a private office 1 floor up. He had decided to come to this meeting without telling anyone. Security would bring him up at 10:15 a.m. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button right now. You do not want to miss what happens next. At 10:14 a.m., David made a choice that would end his career. He decided to make an example of Lisa in front of everyone. Lisa raised her hand. Her voice was calm. "Can I ask about my application?" David sighed, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Lisa, we talked about this. You are just not ready. I have the highest client retention rate on the team. Leadership is about more than numbers. It is about presence, executive presence." Lisa stayed calm. "Can you tell me what I am missing?" David looked annoyed. "Some people have it, some people do not. People like you are better in support roles." The room went quiet. Those words hung in the air. "People like you." "People like me?" Lisa asked. David doubled down. "You know what I mean. Do not make this into something it is not. I would like you to explain to the room what you mean." Now David was angry. "Fine, you want honesty. You do not fit the image our clients expect from leaders. That is just reality. I am doing you a favor by being direct." 32 people heard every word. Marcus Williams, a black man who worked there 5 years, shook his head. Sarah Chen, an Asian-American manager, stared at the table with her jaw tight. Tom Patterson, who just got promoted with less experience, looked down. David stood up. He pointed at Lisa. "This conversation is over. Accept the decision, or find somewhere else that wants your talents." His voice was loud. Lisa stayed in her seat. Her hands were pressed together. She did not yell back. She did not cry. She just sat there. Then the door opened. It was 10:17 a.m. A man in an expensive suit walked in. Nobody knew who he was. Well, almost nobody. Janet from HR went white as a ghost. Type karma in the comments if you think David deserves what comes next. What David did not know was that the man who just walked in owned every part of that building, and he heard everything. Marcus Johnson stood in the doorway. His face showed nothing. David did not recognize him. "Excuse me, this is a private meeting. Can I help you?" Marcus spoke slowly. "Yes, you can stop talking to my daughter like that." The room froze, complete silence. David laughed nervously. "Your daughter? I think you have the wrong meeting, sir." Marcus walked across the room. He put his hand on Lisa's shoulder. "Lisa Johnson, my daughter, the one you just told, does not have executive presence." David's face went pale. The color drained right out of it. "I had no idea, Mr. Johnson, sir, I did not know." Clearly. 10 minutes later, the truth came out. Marcus held up a thick stack of papers, 200 pages, tabs everywhere, highlighted sections. 3 years of notes, Marcus said, 17 incidents, buried complaints, promotion patterns that show clear bias. This report exposes everything, David. He read dates out loud. He read exact quotes. He named specific victims. Then the witnesses spoke up. Marcus Williams went first. "Sir, he told me last year I should talk less urban if I wanted to move up. I have it in writing." Sarah Chen spoke next. "He rejected my budget request. Then he approved the same exact request from a white worker 2 weeks later. I kept both emails." Then Jennifer Adams stood up. She was white. She worked there for 10 years. "I watched him do this for years. I should have said something sooner. I am sorry." Here is a moment of hope in all this. One by one, people found their courage. They finally felt safe enough to tell the truth. That matters. The evidence was clear. The conference room cameras recorded the whole meeting. Lisa made personal recordings too. In Illinois, you can record someone if you are part of the conversation. It pulled all of David's work emails that morning. HR complaint records finally came out of the files Janet buried. David tried to backtrack. "Sir, this is a misunderstanding. I was just giving honest feedback about her development." Marcus cut him off. "Development? You told her people like her are not leadership material in front of 30 witnesses." "That is not what I meant." The cameras were rolling, David. Then Marcus turned to Janet from HR. "And you, 17 complaints. 17. How many made it to the main office? Janet was shaking. Mr. Brooks said they were resolved here. You are done too. Comment below if you think Janet deserves to be fired too. By now, David started to understand how badly he messed up. He did not just insult a random worker. He spent 3 years hurting the daughter of the man who owned the company, and she wrote down every single moment. Marcus Johnson took control of the meeting. 2 more people walked in behind him. Patricia Hendricks was the company lawyer. Samuel Okonkwo was the head of HR for the whole company. They had been waiting outside. Patricia spoke first. Mr. Brooks, you are suspended right now. We are starting an investigation. Samuel stepped forward. We need your laptop, phone, and work badge. David's voice cracked. This is not fair. I want to call my lawyer. Marcus looked at him. You are going to need one. Over the next hour, David's story fell apart piece by piece. David said he never made racist comments, but the video showed exactly what he said. People like you, everyone heard it. David said Lisa was not promoted because of performance issues, but her numbers were 40% better than both people who got promoted. David said he never had discrimination complaints, but there were 17 complaints. Janet buried all of them at the branch level. The decision came fast. David Brooks was fired, effective right then. Janet Mills was fired too. She failed to report complaints. Security walked them both out of the building. David's computer access was cut off. Every email he ever sent was locked down for the investigation. David went through stages of denial. First he said it was a setup. Then he said Lisa trapped him. Then he got angry. You cannot do this. I built this branch. Then came desperation. Mr. Johnson, please, 15 years, I have a family. Marcus did not blink. So did Marcus Williams. So did Sarah Chen. So did everyone you pushed out. If you believe in justice, hit subscribe. We tell these stories every week. After David left, the room changed. Lisa stood up and hugged her father. People started clapping. Some people cried. Co-workers hugged each other. Marcus Williams said, 3 years she sat with us. 3 years. She never said a word about who she was. Sarah Chen added, she wanted to know what we really faced. She lived it with us. But the consequences for David were just getting started. Someone in that room was recording on their phone. They already hit upload. The video spread fast. By 11 a.m., an employee posted it to Twitter. By noon, it had 50,000 views. The hashtag Johnson and Associates started trending in Chicago. By 2 p.m., it hit 500,000 views. LinkedIn picked it up. By 6 p.m., every local news station in Chicago ran the story. By midnight, 4.2 million people watched it. National news started covering it. Twitter had 2.1 million views and 89,000 shares. LinkedIn had 1.8 million views. That was huge for LinkedIn. TikTok compilations got 3.4 million views combined. The comments poured in. One person wrote, she sat there for 3 years writing everything down. That is real dedication. Another said, the look on his face when he found out. Perfect. Someone else posted, this is why we need black women in charge. She cleaned house. A fourth comment said, every HR department that hides complaints needs to watch this video. Share this video if you think more people should see this story. The company put out a statement within 6 hours. They announced they would check every branch. They promised outside experts would review all HR practices. They created a new way to report problems that skipped branch managers. David tried to defend himself online. He posted on LinkedIn. The backlash was so bad he deleted it in 2 hours. His lawyer said the video was missing context, but the video showed everything clearly. 3 days later, David made one more desperate move. He tried to sue Lisa for trapping him and lying about him. It was the worst choice of his life. David's lawsuit went nowhere. He claimed Lisa trapped him. He said she made up evidence. The judge threw out his case in 30 days. There was no legal basis for it. The judge wrote, the plaintiff's own behavior caused his problems. David had to pay Lisa's legal fees for filing a pointless lawsuit. That cost him $47,000. But wait, that was just the start. Lisa filed her own lawsuit against David in April 2023. She sued for racial discrimination. She sued for creating a hostile workplace. She sued for hurting her reputation. She sued for emotional damage. During the discovery phase, things got worse for David. His personal emails came out. He made jokes about diversity hires to other managers. His text messages showed him using racial slurs. He told other managers to keep black workers in support roles. The pattern was clear. 23 workers of color were denied promotions under David. 8 of them agreed to tell their stories in court. Now here is the part everyone wants to know. How much did David pay? The court gave Lisa $2.1 million for what she went through. They added $2.8 million to punish David. Legal fees cost another $400,000. The total was $5.3 million. David could not pay it. He filed for bankruptcy. He was banned from all company buildings nationwide. His career in consulting was over. No one would hire him. Janet Mills lost her HR certification. It was suspended while they reviewed her ethics. 6 months after the judgment, David put out a public apology. Most people thought it was fake. He blamed corporate culture and pressure to perform. He never admitted the racism specifically. Lisa responded simply, "This was never about money. I gave the whole settlement to groups that help discrimination victims." She added, "I wanted to show that staying quiet does not protect you. Writing things down does." In September 2023, Lisa gave a press conference at company headquarters. 3 years of being told I was not enough. 3 years of watching coworkers face the same treatment. Some days I wanted to quit. Some days I cried in my car. She paused. But I knew if I left, nothing would change. The next Lisa would face the same thing. Then she talked about what made her case different. "I had resources most workers do not have. I had my father's company. I had money. I could afford to wait 3 years. Most workers cannot. They need their paycheck. They cannot risk getting fired for speaking up. That is why the system stays broken." Her message to workers was clear. Write everything down. Dates, times, witnesses, exact words. Your memory fades. Paper does not. Her message to companies was direct. If your HR department reports to the people it should investigate, your system is broken. Diversity statements mean nothing without real accountability. Lisa told the room what she wanted to see change. Outside experts should check HR at bigger companies. Workers who document discrimination need legal protection. Managers with proven discrimination records should be blacklisted from the industry. She ended with this. "David asked me where I see myself in 5 years. I am now VP of Operations. I see myself making sure no one at this company ever gets asked that question while being told they do not belong." This story is bigger than one bad manager. In 2022, over 67,000 workplace discrimination complaints were filed in America. 1/3 were about race. More than half included workers being punished for speaking up. Lisa won because she had money, connections, and time. Most workers have none of those things. The real problem is that HR often protects the company, not the worker. Until that changes, stories like this will keep happening. So let me ask you, do we really want workplaces where your skin color does not limit how far you can go? Or do we just want to say we do? Do we hold HR accountable when they bury complaints? Or do we accept that is just how things work? Do we believe black women when they show us years of proof? Or do we ignore them until there is video? Because if we do not fix HR accountability, if we do not protect workers who document discrimination, if we do not stop using executive presence as code for racism, then we are just waiting for the next David Brooks, the next Lisa Johnson, the next 3 years of abuse before someone happens to have a CEO for a father. Comment below if you believe workers should have legal protection for recording discrimination. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep exposing these patterns. We are going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for workers who cannot fight alone. This is not just about David Brooks or Lisa Johnson. It is about every worker who was told they do not have executive presence. It is about every complaint that got buried. It is about the system we all accept until we decide we will not. See you in the next one.